Hi guys, Creative Katie, Karen Burchill here. Welcome to my channel and a mixed media tutorial. Today we are making a mini notebook out of a plain ordinary envelope. It could have either kind of flap. So what we're going to do is start by putting color down here. And I have orange, deep violet, and quinacridone magenta. And I'm just mixing them right on the raw envelope with a makeup sponge. I'm blending these colors together. If you look on a color wheel, these colors would show up close together. And I know from past experiences that they will not make mud. In fact, they're going to make this rosy, gold, luscious, deep color, which I am in love with. So I'm putting it on the one side of the envelope and I'm putting it on the other. Now you can do this same process with any size envelope. So I'm not going to give you sizes because it really doesn't matter. Now there's the flap. What you want to prevent is that flap from sticking shut because you want this to have little pockets or something tucks that you can tuck some goodies into when you turn this into a notebook. So I'm just putting the paint on here. I am not being very picky or precise. This is the first layer of color. I know I'm going to do some further steps in the mixed media way, so I am not concerned. I'm just interested in getting the right, lots of variety. Now I'm deciding that I'm going to fold, this notebook is going to fold this way instead of vertically. And I have made several of these and I have not yet used modeling paste. So that's what I'm going to try out and see how that works on this envelope. So I'm masking off the back side of this because I don't want any of the modeling paste to get on the back. And I'm taping down this Celestial Sun stencil from Crafter's Workshop, and I'll put links to it in the description box below. You can get the stencils from TCW Shopify or from Ninny's Napkins. Both links are in the description box below. So I'm using Grecian gold modeling paste from the Crafter's Workshop. You can use, they have other golds, all of them would work. This is what I grabbed first, and I really think this gold is going to work well with the rich colors that I have already on there, and I really want that to pop, and it does. I absolutely I love the shine, I love the shimmer, I like the color contrast that we've got going. So after washing my stencil, I'm moving to the next part, and that is making the notebook pages. Now, because of the colors that I've chosen, I went and grabbed tea-stained papers that I had in my stash. And if you look at the top right-hand corner, I'll put a link to the video where I talk about how I tea stained these, if you were looking for a little more information on that. I did these, they went in my stash, and I haven't really used it. And lo and behold, this is the perfect project for it. I'm trying to introduce the gold and the magenta color to all the pages, and I'm splattering. Then once that's dry, flipping them over and splattering again. My favorite splatter brush is my fan brush. It does take a little bit of time when you splatter for it to dry completely. Don't rush it because you'll make a mess. So once all those pages were done, I grabbed my Plum Archival and this makeup brush, and I am just edging it again, introducing that magenta rose color that I have on the cover and making this look a little more vintage. I'm liking how it's just all working together. And that's one of the great parts of having things in your stash, taking time to build your stash, because when it comes to creating, you can just go and grab it and you have the perfect addition. So I'm going to be putting that inside, and I'm grabbing that makeup brush, and I will be edging it. I believe I grabbed the black archival ink here. And I'm loving using this makeup brush. I purchased these. They work so much better than the blending tools. So I'm using these makeup brushes and the black archival ink with this Celestial Sun stencil, and I'm pushing it in to the stencil. And again, I'm having more success with this. Now, I could have used black acrylic paint, but I did not want it as dark as what that would have given. I want this to be faint, in the kind of in the background, just hints of it. And this is the perfect way to doing that. And archival ink, like acrylic paint, is permanent once it's dry and set. So I don't have to worry about this reactivating. And I'm loving the look. They almost take on a blue tinge. Grabbing some gold, and I'm splattering this, because remember, I want all the elements to work together, the pages and the outside of this cover for my envelope cover for my little notebook here. So I'm testing that out, keeping an eye of which end is up. You want to make sure the flaps are in the right place, or the pockets. And I decide, oh, I didn't do the back, so I'm going to do the same thing with the makeup brush and the archival ink on the back. And I'm just masking off the front. I'm absolutely loving this look. Now, the makeup brushes that I have are not the expensive ones. I don't even know what brand that would be. I don't do a lot of ink blending. So for me, the inexpensive ones are working just fine. And I'll put a link to them in the description box, should you want to check out. So I love that Celestial Sun. Now I'm edging it around the outside again with the makeup brush. So I've got the papers that I folded in half, and I'm lining it up to get the spine, and I'm using some mini bulldog clips here to hold them in place while I flip it over, and I'm using just a regular stapler here that fits. There are other ways that you can do this. If your envelope is bigger, you can actually stitch on it. You can use a sewing machine. I'm going for the simplest possible way for my purposes, which was stapling. Just pressing these all in place, making sure the staple is firmly pressed down. Loving how all that came. Now the pocket, you can put a gift card in there. So this can be kind of an alternative to the greeting card. You can put a little bit of a message in there as well. What I've decided to do is make a bit of I guess it's a bookmark out of a tag, a shipping tag. And I'm painting this Naples yellow. Actually, I'm mixing yellow ochre and white gesso to get a Naples yellow. My Naples yellow has run out. And I'm just painting that. Here, I just was a little too dark, so I'm not a neat crafter. I'm painting both sides, drawing in between. And what I want to put on here is, I don't want to get too elaborate. I want a sentiment, and I want a little bit of decoration that ties in with the cover. So I'm just stenciling with the yellow ochre on here, kind of tone on tone, some of that celestial sun, so I get that same pattern on here. And I grabbed a sentiment from my sentiment packs, cut it down. I think it's just going to fit in here. It's a nice message, goes with what I've got going on, edging it with some more yellow ochre. Decided that the white is just a little too white, doesn't fit the whole vintage feel of this bookmark or this notebook. Now you could tuck in all sorts of things into those little pockets. I'm just choosing to make a mini bookmark. And other videos where I use a similar envelope, making different kind of things, giving some variations and alternatives, you will see me doing that. So stay tuned. I love turning envelopes that I have lying around into little mini notebooks. This is the perfect size to slip into a purse and use. And I also love the idea of usable art. And that just fits so nicely in there. I'm rubbing some brown on there, and I use distress ink, but then it reactivates when I glue things down. So then I have a bit of a cleanup, and then I go to using my archival ink and or paint. So I have another saying. I figure I'm going to do the other side, and this one goes really well, I think, with the celestial sun. It says, we all have a time machine. Memories take us back, dreams take us forward. And I love that saying. So, I mean, you can personalize whatever quote for the person you're sending it to. This would also be perfect for happy mail, random act of kindness. See, here you'll notice if you've got the eagle eye that the distress ink that I edged it with is reactivating. So I take a baby wipe and I wipe it off, and then I reapply it and vintage it up later. Really, at this point, I'm not really liking this side of the bookmark or tag. Something's missing, so I'm colorizing it to make the white disappear. Making it all work together. Grabbing my Sakura glaze pen and just outlining it with black, and I'm loving that look. It's just amazing how that little thing just helps finish it off. So once the one side is dry, I flip it over. And I outline the sentiment on this side. And that just made it pop. It made it all so much better. I was like, okay, this is working. If you're not happy, it just means you're not done yet. And then I edge it like I did the front, the other side. Still very simple, but it just stands out a little bit more. And I splatter it with the gold and the magenta like I did the pages. Want everything to work together. I tied some twine onto it. I just don't have any ribbon. You could put ribbon if you want. And here are some close-ups of the finished project. This little mini notebook that you can gift to someone as an alternative, as a greeting card, as a random act of kindness. I absolutely love how this one worked out, and I hope you did too. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, share the video with your creative friends, and leave me a comment down below. Love to hear from you. Bye.